The top stories: coordinator for Defend Ethiopia Task Force called on the diaspora to contribute for the sole purpose of the national dialogue. And World Meteorological Organization Director for Africa says Ethiopia's green legacy exemplary of withstanding climate change impacts. Hello and welcome to BBC World, the voice of Pan-Africanism, with the latest news highlights of the hour. I am Tabitha John. To stay with us, an Ethiopian high-level delegation led by Ambassador Taye Atske-Selassie, the Minister of Foreign Affairs of the Federal Democratic Republic of Ethiopia, arrived in Djibouti today for an official visit. The delegation held an extensive discussion with Mahmoud Ali Yusuf, Minister for Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation of Djibouti. The high-level talks focus on strengthening bilateral relations and addressing key regional issues. They also discussed ways of scaling up mutual interest in the economy and trade, as well as facilitating port services. Ethiopia's Minister of Finance, Ahmed Shide, had held a discussion with the European Union Commissioner for International Partnerships, Jutta Urpilainen. It is stated that the minister and the EU Commissioner's discussion focused on the economic and political situation in Ethiopia, as well as regional developments and cooperation under the Horn of Africa Initiative, HOAI. Jutta Urpilainen stated on her X social page that she held a brief discussion with the Ethiopian Finance Minister in Addis Ababa on her way back from Mozambique.
And my answer is Yemen.
Them from the sun and also it's their traditional.
Wow, that's so cool.
The pure raw adrenaline rush of just being there is what I...
Kuwait is a tiny country delicately placed between Iraq and Saudi Arabia.
Here they come.
Oldest and most well-preserved Roman ruins. It looks really cool. Right behind me is a show-stopping.
She cooked all day for us.
Clap it up, clap it up.
They're gorgeous.
I was not expecting to find this in northern Iraq.
Welcome back. With very colorful assortments, Sri Lankan embassy here in the capital Addis Ababa marked Lantern Festival in the presence of diplomatic community and dignitaries. Speaking on the occasion, Sri Lankan ambassador to Ethiopia and permanent representative to the AU and UNECA, Ambassador Theshantha Kumarisiri, stressed that meditation is a unique form of mental training that will teach one to experience the world in an entirely new way. Tigustani has the following account.
Vesak full moon Poya Day marks the birth, enlightenment and passing away of Buddha, was considered as one of the most respected spiritual religious leaders in the world. Buddha discovered a unique teaching of the middle path or salvation which overcomes all sufferings of life. With various colorful assortments, Sri Lankan embassy here in the capital Addis Ababa marked Lantern Festival in the presence of diplomatic community and signatories. Speaking on the occasion, Sri Lankan Ambassador to Ethiopia and Permanent Representative to the AU and UNECA, Ambassador Tashanti Kumara Siri, stressed that meditation is a unique form of mental training that will teach one to experience the world in an entirely new way.
As you may be aware that Buddhism presents us with an effective system for exploring the deeper levels of the mind through meditation. This beautiful tradition is the natural result of its 2,500 years development. This unique form of mental training will teach us to experience the world in an entirely new way. Meditation is a process of self-discovery, a participatory investigation in which you observe your own experiences. Though through meditation we cultivate mindfulness and deepen our connection to ourselves and the world around us. The purpose of meditation is personal transformation. It is intended to purify the mind. Meditation changes our characters by making us deeply aware of our own thoughts, words, and deeds.
The ambassador further stated that this year's Vesak Day celebration is a special day as it marks the 25th anniversary of the adoption of the historic General Assembly Resolution 54/115 titled International Recognition of the Day of Vesak by the United Nations.
The Ethiopian diaspora living abroad is urged to contribute for the sole purpose of the national dialogue in Ethiopia. Talking to EBC World, coordinator for Defend Ethiopia Task Force in Belgium, Brussels, Ephraim Zaudu, said despite the concerns and other political differences, the diaspora should forward agendas for the national dialogue in good faith to seek solution to bring reconciliation and peace in Ethiopia. Johannes Ventahun has produced the following report.
The Ethiopian diaspora has a critical role for securing the national interests of its country whenever external pressures are pursued by different actors. Regarding issues happening domestically in Ethiopia, the diaspora has also its own influence. Currently, Ethiopia is implementing a nationwide dialogue, and the diaspora is being urged to contribute positively for the success of this initiative. Approached by EBC World, Ephraim Zaudu, coordinator for the Defend Ethiopia Task Force based in Belgium, Brussels, called upon Ethiopian diaspora to contribute to the sole purpose of the national dialogue in Ethiopia despite the divergent political perspectives and other differences. According to Ephraim, internal differences can be only reconciled through dialogue, and a national dialogue is the only means to bring about lasting peace.
It is an important initiative. It is critical for our country because there are divergent political perspectives in Ethiopia. There are different groups that have different perspective on Ethiopian politics, on our administration, and how we have to do political matters. So these internal differences can only be reconciled through national dialogue, through dialogue and discussion. So within our country, to resolve issues, this is the most sustainable, the most important, and the only way to bring permanent solution to our problems, internal problems.
Regarding the participation of the diaspora in the Ethiopian National Dialogue, Ephraim said the diaspora should forward agendas for the national dialogue in good faith to seek solution to bring reconciliation and peace in Ethiopia.
The whole purpose of the national dialogue is to seek collective solution through discussion, dialogue and discussion to bring peace, stability, and national reconciliation. So we have to contribute towards this purpose. So that is one way the diaspora can participate. The second thing the diaspora can do is to do a PR campaign to bring all diasporas on board to support dialogue and discussion rather than resorting to conflict, inflaming war and conflict sitting abroad.
In addition to the PR work within the diaspora to bring all residing in every corner of the world into consensus that dialogue is the best means to secure Ethiopia's national interest, there must be a common mindset in the diaspora on tabling issues for discussion rather than waging war among Ethiopians, FM underscored.
Our internal and external enemies work on creating division. They tend to create division among ourselves. And once there is a division and a conflict within us, we cannot work on our national issues. We cannot work on GERD and other projects. We cannot secure our peace and stability. We will only resort to fighting conflicts. We have to be very conscious about this. And as an Ethiopians, we have to resort to seek solution on the table, and this has to be also a mindset and an understanding of the diaspora. There could be issues, and there are issues, many issues, that has to be resolved. There are many questions that the diaspora may have, but the way to bring them is to bring it to the table. The way to do it is to discuss and seek solution collectively, rather than trying to go to an armed conflict or promote an armed conflict among Ethiopians.
Finally, FM mentioned the initiatives started by the Ethiopian National Dialogue Commission to participate the diaspora and urged to intensify the efforts.
And finally, Ethiopia's Green Legacy Initiative has been becoming a critical demonstration in the endeavors of withstanding climate change impacts. World Meteorological Organization Director for the Regional Office for Africa, RAF, Agnes Kijazi said. Kijazi told Ethiopian news agency that climate change is a global threat as African countries are being tested severely. Jerusalem Betza has more.
In order to create a sustainable and resilient economy, Ethiopia adopted the Climate Resilient Green Economy Strategy in 2011. Within those regulatory frameworks, the Green Legacy Initiative is one of the initiatives which was introduced in June 2019 with the goal of creating a green and climate resilient Ethiopia. Regarding Ethiopia's continued efforts in the Green Legacy program, World Meteorological Organization Director for the Regional Office for Africa, Agnes Kijazi, told ENA that the Green Legacy Initiative is resulting in a remarkable outcome to mitigate the impacts of climate change. Noting that Ethiopia's Green Legacy development is a clear manifestation of resisting the climate-induced impacts, she stressed the need for global collaboration to resolve the problem in a sustainable manner.
I would like to appreciate and congratulate the government of Ethiopia for this action of planting trees. Having these trees will help. As you know that trees, they take out of the atmosphere carbon dioxide. So the more trees you have, the more carbon will be taken from the atmosphere. So Ethiopia is doing a very good job planting these trees, and we could encourage other members in Africa to do the same. We have a number of countries that they are planting trees, but they can also learn from how Ethiopia is doing.
The director stated the World Meteorological Organization Regional Office for Africa is supporting countries in the continent to develop a strong early warning system.
For Africa, what we are doing now as WMO to support members in Africa is to make sure that we have a very good early warning services. Having early warning services is a way to adapt for people to know that disaster is coming, they can evacuate if there is any risk. So we are enhancing early warning services as part of adaptation to these challenges of climate change.
The program is instrumental in preventing climate change and maintaining a sustainable ecosystem, as Ethiopia's forest coverage has reached 23.6% recently, according to Ethiopian Forest Development.
You're watching EBC World, a reminder of the top stories. Coordinator for Defend Ethiopia Task Force called on the diaspora to contribute for the sole purpose of the national dialogue. And World Meteorological Organization Director for Africa says Ethiopia's green legacy exemplary of withstanding climate change impacts. That's all we had for now. I'm Tabitha John. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.